Welcome back, and moving on to our first segment for today. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi headed to the Greek capital Athens on Wednesday to participate in the 9th round of the Egypt-Greece-Cyprus Summit. Well, to discuss this in more details, we have the pleasure to have Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Doctor. First of all, I would like to talk more about this tripartite cooperation. How far can it add or strengthen the regional stability and also the economic development?
Yes, this is a very important act for Egyptian diplomacy, and the President himself was very keen to enhance this triangle a long time ago. Now, it's a continuation of a previous work that needs to be accomplished. Egypt is defined and known as an Arab Islamic country, but also as a very major Mediterranean country. So we share this Mediterranean culture, we share Mediterranean interest, and the President is doing this for a long time, for many years now.
How can we shed the light or talk more on the strategic benefits when we have such a high-level meeting between leaders or presidents?
Of course, on the grassroots level, there is a very good relationship between Egypt and the Greek people. Long history books can tell us about it, and also recent events can tell us about it. But when it comes to high-level diplomats and high-level strategic leaders, I think this is give a very excellent momentum to cooperation between the three countries.
Well, how can Egypt leverage its geographic position to play a leading role in Eastern Mediterranean part?
Yes, of course. When it comes to the main word here, seek the word common culture. We have a very strong common culture with the Mediterranean peoples. When you are talking about the visit, in particular to Greece these days by the President, I think that Egypt has a long and very nice and very intimate history with Greek people who lived here among us. And we have many associations, we have many even churches, clubs. There is a very important elements here when it comes to a Greek community in Egypt. You can go to the Greek club, you can go to associations, you can go to schools. Yes, there is a very strong tie between the Egyptian people and the Greek people. And I think this is being enhanced these days immensely. And the President giving it a priority and a care, special care.
Well, signing the joint declaration on strategic partnership, of course, has a great impact on Egypt's policy, talking about the international level as well.
Yeah, when you are talking about strategic relationship and raising the kind of economic ties between these Mediterranean countries together, I think also mobilizing the international arena, including this area of the world, this very important area, the Mediterranean area, to enhance fairness, to enhance win-win diplomacy, to enhance giving rights to the people of Palestine. And I think this is a very important move. And I think that this triangle is a component within the European Union, and we have this strategic relationship with this entity for mobilizing, for playing the role, for enhancing economic ties.
What message is the President sending to the international community with this important tripartite cooperation?
Yes, of course, the message is clear. We care about de-escalation, we care about sustainable development, we care about an international community that would help its members to live in peace and to continue sustainable development for the sake of all peoples of the area.
Well, many important files were discussed. So can we shed the light on the important points?
I think that the files are there on all aspects, the economic, diplomatic, and cultural things. Let me remind you that, especially when it comes to Greek, early in history, when Herodotus, a very famous Greek historian, came and said, in Egypt there are so many wonders that it challenged description, and he showed great admiration to the Egyptian culture and civilization. And I think that this role is to be continued through these visits and to be enhanced again.
When we take a look at the foreign diplomacy and our wide relations with different countries, can we say that this can have an impact when it comes to Egypt? In particular, I'm talking about youth, the impression of the youth, and just to the acknowledging of many of the situations and challenges we are facing?
Yes, the Mediterranean countries all face the same challenges, and we have in this world challenges that needs to be met. We have the environmental challenge, we have the managing the Mediterranean affair with all its aspects. We have a good relationship to enhance the economic ties. So I think all of these are reflected in these visits.
So do you think the cultural and historical heritage between both countries helped in shaping the current relationship between both countries and also shaping the future as well?
Yes, I think that it is very important to get into the cultural roots and see how could you enhance it in the future, or the present and the future. And I think that the world needs this. The world needs, when I was at the United Nations University, I raised the issue of cross-cultural communication challenge because it is missing. So I think Egypt has a great deal of role to play when it comes to getting this momentum for that challenge to be addressed. The cross-cultural communication could lead to prosperity, cooperation, but misunderstanding also could lead to the opposite results. So I think the challenge of cross-cultural communication must be restored, must be enhanced, must be addressed in media and in education and in the university levels, I think.
Can we shed the light on the role that both countries can play together when it comes to Egypt and Greece in some important points like illegal immigration, like the maritime, many of these items that were also discussed?
Yes, of course, the issue of immigration with capital I is always a topic on the agenda between Egypt and all the European countries, actually. And when it comes to this, I think that Egypt is trying to do two things. It's not only to prevent illegal immigration, but also to regulate this issue, sending people who are as a manpower to the European countries. And I think this is a new thing Egypt is trying to, not only to prevent, but to regulate and to make benefit, mutual benefit through this important and thorny file of immigration.
Also, we have collaborations in energy and defense. So, or agreements or joint initiatives that might take place in the near future?
Yes, of course, the issue of energy is very thorny and very important and very vital issue. And I think that Egypt is trying to play an important role in two aspects in that kind of file, which is electricity connection and also sending clean energy. The issue of clean energy is being developed in Egypt, and Egypt is taking a leading role in that. And this would help in enhancing the cooperation between these countries in different aspects.
Well, talking about this important visit, we always say that after leaders' visits or the mutual cooperation and agreements signed between top diplomats, usually we have many other things or homeworks to be done after. So could you tell us more about it?
Yes, of course, when you are talking about high-level leadership meetings, of course, a lot of barriers to be demolished, a lot of bureaucracy could be demolished. Also, the significance of having this level of representation by the leadership really give much more space for much deepening of the economic ties, the strategic ties, and all aspects of relations. All aspects of this strategic relation with Greek and with other European countries as well.
How far can this tripartite cooperation help in releasing tension in the region or the de-escalation of tension in the region?
Yes, I think that Egyptian diplomacy is very clear. Many of these countries convened here in Cairo for 2 summits or 3 summits, and the main target of Egypt is to de-escalate conflicts and to get the whole world on a win-win ground. And I think that having the Mediterranean countries together, this triangle as well as the European Union, to help in that direction, it would be of a great benefit for everyone in the world.
How far can having different relations or diversifying your relations with different countries and different continents can strengthen the country? I mean, having many alliances from different sides across the globe, how far can this strengthen a country?
I think this is very important, and this is very important maxim in Egyptian diplomacy, because we believe that long time ago and with President Fattah al-Sisi is that we have to have balanced relationship with all parts of the world, because if we have to put a stop on this tough polarization that's taking place in the world, because polarization leads to conflict. So we wanted this to be cancelled out by having a good relationship with all parties. This is why, if you look at the map of a strategic relationship with Egypt, you can find that Egypt is having a strategic relationship with all the powers, with no reservation, for one reason: for establishing peace with dignity, for establishing win-win ground, for keeping the sovereignty of each country intact.
What kind of potentialities are there between these 3 countries?
Of course, the potentialities are great. You have this important triangle. It is very important when it comes to the economic enhancement and the economic output that would come. You have for stability and for peace building, and for also one of the most important things, I think this is the hub of culture here. All of these countries, Egypt, Greece, Cyprus, all of this have great civilization. So this would tell us about how important this triangle could play an important and vital role in intercultural and interfaith dialogues that really helps a lot. And by the way, we need to re-establish interfaith and intercultural on a solid ground, away from polarization, away from all this kind of conflict that's taking place in all parts of the world, unfortunately.
Do you think just including the new generation in such interconnection, I mean having some of the activities or different kinds of mutual cooperation among these countries when it comes to the new generation to be just to reshape the future for them?
Yeah, I think that addressing the new generation and telling them what went in the past and what is happening in the present and the future is extremely important. And by the way, let me shed light on the great achievements and the great relationship with the Greek community in Egypt. The young people have to understand this very historical relationship. Lately, I have read that one of the greatest directors in the area of movies, Mr. Costa Grafat, I think that he came back to Egypt and he remembered his time in Shobra, and he made extremely emotional statements to the extent that he was interviewed by one of our colleagues here in Greek studies, and he said that he wants to live back in Egypt and die in Egypt. This is a very emotional stance that needs to be transferred 4 generations. He and other people and the community is very important, and what he said recently, even in a documentary was conducted by people who are really care about Greek studies in the Faculty of Languages and Translation at Al-Azhar University. And I think this is a very important step towards getting the new generation introduced to this wonderful history between our countries.
Well, Dr. Hassan Wagih, Professor of Political Science, thank you very much for joining us. Well, moving on to check out some of the important Roman archaeological sites here in Egypt. This time we're going to take you to take a look at the Roman amphitheater. Let's take a look, then we'll be back.
Amphitheater.